This is a review for your test on simplifying rational expressions and solving rational equations. In this problem, remember it says that no denominator is equal to 0. So that's just reminding you of our exclusions, our excluded values. For this one, it's already factored out, so you don't have to do any factoring. You just look and see what they both have in common on top and the bottom. What you're left with is your answer, x times x minus 2 over x minus 4. For number 2, again, you'll see this on a lot of the equations, so you don't have to worry about it. Here you've got your denominator factored, but we need to factor the top. What can we multiply to get 6? That when we subtract, we get a -1. So we're going to have r minus 3 and r plus 2. All over, the denominator is already factored into r minus 2, r minus 3. What we have that's the same is the r minus 3's. So we're left with our answer of r plus 2 over r minus 2. For number 3, this is an equation. Remember, we have to come up with a common denominator. Our LCD here, it would be 8. But remember, if we only have one equation on each side, we could use our butterfly method and cross multiply. But let's look at the numbers between 8 and 4. So let's have our common denominator be 8. So if I multiply both sides by 8, this will cancel. It'll give me a -1. So that means I'm going to have to change the sign on top of everything. So the x is going to become a negative. The 4 is going to become a positive. The 8 here will reduce with the 4, and I'm going to multiply 2 times everything that's on top. I have to make sure that I remember to use my distributive property here. So if I multiply by 2, that's going to give me a -6x plus 14. I'm going to add 6x to both sides. That's going to give me 5x. I'm going to subtract 4 is equal to 10. Divide by 5. So x will equal 2. We don't have to worry about any restrictions on this one, simply because we don't have any variables in our denominator. For this one, again, we're looking here. It is an equation, so we've got to get rid of our denominators. So looking at what we have in our denominators, we have a 3, so we have to include that. We also have an x, and we don't need to do 2 of them, we just need to do the 1x. So if I multiply everything on both sides by 3x, then I come back and I look to see what cancels. The 3 cancels, the x cancels, and the x cancels. What I have left is 3 times 5 is 15. -3 times 2 is a -6. 3 times 8 gives me 24. And what happens here? There are no variables, so this one is no solution. For number 5, we're just simplifying. Common denominator, remember, this is the same thing as x over 1. So our common denominator is going to be our x plus 2. So we're going to multiply everything times x plus 2. This x plus 2 will cancel, and we're left with x times x plus 2. Sorry, we're left with just an x. For the second one, nothing cancels, and we're left with x times x plus 2 minus The x plus 2's cancel. 5x. And remember, this is a negative, so you have to remember to distribute it here and here. So that's a negative 8. So we have x plus, using your distributive property, x squared plus 2x minus 5x minus 8. Solving all of that, we're going to combine it like terms. We've got x squared. 2 minus 5 gives me a negative 3, plus 1 gives me a negative 2x minus 8. We're going to set that equal to 0. It's set equal to y here, so we're solving for y. So we're setting it equal to 0. What can we multiply together to get 8? That when we subtract those same two numbers, we get a negative 2. X minus 4, x plus 2. Set each one of these equal to 0. So you get x equals 4, and x is equal to a negative 2. For number 6, let's try this one using the butterfly method. So let's cross multiply. So I'm going to multiply n times 4n minus 37 is equal to 3 times 10, which is 30. If I use my distributive property, I got 4n squared minus 37n. I'm going to bring the 30 over, so minus 30 is equal to 0. So now we have to factor, and we're going to do 4n in one parentheses, n in another. Factors of 30. Let's do 10 here, and let's do 3 here. This will give me 40 minus 3 will give me a negative 37. So then I set each factor individually equal to 0. So this gives me 4n plus a negative 3. Divide by 4, so n is equal to negative 3/4. Here I have n minus 10 equals 0, so n is equal to 10. For number 7, let's find my common denominator because we have an equation. Again, my LCD for this one, I have to use whatever I have in the denominator. This is a 1, so my LCD is simply just an x. So if I multiply x times everything, the x's cancel here and here. So I'm left with 1 minus x plus 2x is equal to 7. X minus 2x just gives me a 1x. If I subtract 1 from both sides, I get x is equal to 6. So that one's really easy. Here, what do I have for my common denominator? The least common multiple number that'll go into both 8 and 4 is going to be 8. And I can't forget about the x. So I've got to multiply everything on both sides by 8x. 8 will cancel here. So I'm left with x times x minus 2. The x will cancel here. So I'm left with a negative 8 times x minus 2. 4 will go into the 8 2 times. So I'm left with a negative 1 times 2x. So that's just simply a negative 2x. Using my distributive property, x squared minus 2x minus 8x plus 16 is equal to a negative 2x. Bring this over, and it will cancel with that one. So what I have is x squared minus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0. We're going to multiply together to get 16. That when I add the same, two numbers, I get a negative 8. Well, both of them is going to be a negative 4. So I only have to solve for one of them. So x minus 4 equals 0. X is equal to 4. Here we already have it factored. So my LCD here is going to be common smallest number that both of these will go into is 4. and my factor is x plus 3. So if I multiply by 4 times x plus 3, and if I multiply each one of these individually by that, I'm going to multiply that times that one, and I'm going to multiply it times this one over here. So I'm going to move all of this out of the way because I know what my LCD is now. And looking at what will cancel, the x plus 3's cancel. 2 goes into 4 2 times. So I have left here on the first one 2 times x minus 2. The 4 is the only thing that cancels here. So I'm left with x times x plus 3. The x plus 3's cancel here and here. So I'm left with 4 times 4, which is 16. Using my distributive property, x squared plus 3x minus 16. If I bring everything over, I add a 4, I'm going to subtract a 2x. So this gives me 0 is equal to x squared plus x. 60 minus 4 is going to give me a negative 12. What can I multiply to get 12? Then when I subtract, I get a positive 1. I'll have a positive 4 and a negative 3. Set each one of these equal to 0. I get x is equal to negative 4 and x is equal to positive 3. For number 10, we have to add, so we have to get a common denominator. My common denominator here is going to be both of those. So x plus 1 and x minus 4. So what does this common denominator have that this one's missing? It's an x minus 4. So I'm going to multiply everything times x minus 4. What does common denominator here have that this denominator is missing? It's the x plus 1. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x plus 1. Now we know that my common denominator is x plus 1 times x minus 4. What do I get here when I use my distributive property? 12x minus 48. Here I'm just multiplying by 1, so that's x plus 1. Combine my like terms, I have 13x minus 47 over my common denominator of x plus 1 and x minus 4. For number 11, same thing, same process. My common denominator here is going to be n plus 3 and n minus 4. So I've got my common denominator, n plus 3, n minus 4. What does my common denominator have here that this one's missing? Well, it's missing an n minus 4. So I'm going to multiply 3n times n minus 4 plus 5. What does my common denominator here have that this denominator is missing? It's an n plus 3. So if I use my distributive property, I have 3n squared minus 12n plus 5n plus 15 all over n plus 3, n minus 4. Combine my like terms, 3n squared minus 7n plus 15 all over